Hello, everyone. Progressive Hoodie here. I want to talk today about vice presidential picks, specifically with regard to Joe Biden, because he is the front runner now. There's a lot of speculation going around about who he will choose, should choose, who might be on the short list. And so I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about a very specific question, though. Will it be a progressive? Will Joe Biden choose a progressive as his running mate? So many people are saying he should. Oh, he should, because how is he going to get the young vote? He's got to get that young vote. He's got to appeal to the younger generation. So he should pick a progressive. He should pick someone that will appeal to us. So maybe we have hope as younger people, right? Because he's going to pick someone that we like. He wants our vote, right? The Democratic Party values us. They think we're important, right? No. The short answer is no. You want my answer? Do you want the truth, or do you want somebody to blow smoke up your rear end? If you want smoke blowing up your rear end, I'm not going to be able to help you with that. But if you want the truth as I see it, then stick on around and get my hoodie take. Now, short answer, no. Joe Biden is not going to choose a progressive. And it's actually kind of laughable to me that anyone's even suggesting it, honestly. Look, if you really believe that Joe Biden is going to choose a progressive as his running mate, Joe Biden, establishment of establishment politicians, is going to choose a progressive. Do me a favor. In the event that we have a zombie apocalypse, I want you to go ahead and open up your head and go on and scoop out your brains for zombies to consume. I'm going to need you to go first. Right, we're going to need you to go first. Because, I mean, what do you got them for? What do you got your brains for? What you got your brains for if you're not going to use them? Look, the Democratic establishment is not ignorant about Joe Biden's current condition. Okay? They know that his current condition makes it very likely that his vice president could, maybe even sooner than any of us believe or realize, be the president of the United States. Could happen in his first term. The way he's sunsetting, ladies and gentlemen, it could happen in his first term. The establishment is not ignorant about that. Look, it's been an open secret throughout this entire primary. They know he's not doing well. They know he's just doing a terrible job in every single one of these debates. The candidates know it and have pointed it out. You had Cory Booker, who had that interview. He was talking about how, Joe Biden, we're not sure if he can get the ball, the ball over the line. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He ain't working with the full box of crayons. You know what I'm saying? The lights are not all on upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, come on. We know what he was saying when he was saying that. And what he was trying to say was that he is definitely in cognitive decline. We had Julian Castro in this one debate who was like, Joe Biden, you forgot what you just said. How can you forget? You're forgetting that. You just said that and now you're forgetting it. Do you see America? I mean, the only way he could have gone any further was to just straight up look into the microphone, look into the camera and speak directly into the microphone and say to the American people, Joe Biden is losing his marbles, everyone. He did everything but that when he came after Joe Biden by saying, you're forgetting what you just said. I mean, that's such a clear attack on his cognitive functioning. And it isn't just limited to presidential candidates, the media as well. We saw on CNN, MSNBC, and other outlets how, they've been bringing it up throughout the, delicately, of course, because, I mean, and with other options, right? They had people like Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar who they propped up. Nobody was in. -3 people were interested in Amy Klobuchar until they made her a thing by claiming she won every debate when she was boring as watching toast brown. I mean, she's just the worst. I mean, ugh. She was nothing until they went and overhyped her. But anyway, like, They thought they had these other options, and so they didn't feel it was that big of a deal to kind of delicately suggest, maybe Joe Biden may have some problems. Not really sure what's going on here. And then their savior, Mike Bloomberg, coming in. Oh, Mike Bloomberg. So they thought they had other options. They were bringing it up. So don't let these people in the establishment gaslight you, pointing the finger at us now and trying to make it seem like we're bad people, we're ageist. No, the bad people are the ones that are doing elder abuse right now, parading Joe Biden around the country, propping him up around the country, saying, go that way, Joe Biden, go, turn right, go inside, open the door. Oh, you forgot how to open the door this time? Somebody open the door. I mean, the people that are basically leading him through his life, through this candidacy, through this campaign. Just speak for 7 minutes and try not to say something stupid. Okay, you're done. Come on off. Come on off. You're done. You're done. You said the soul of the nation. Good job. The people that are doing that, they're the abusive ones. They're the immoral ones. They're the awful ones. We're trying to save the country. How backwards are we in this country? We've got two candidates right now. One that's got a plan and a vision for the country. Another one that wants to take us back to the same old, that hasn't worked and that led us to Donald Trump. We got one candidate who can, talk, can complete an idea, much less a sentence. And another one who's like, where am I? Where are my hairy legs? Where's Corn Pop? Like, what state is this? What day is it? Wow, people. And the American people are like, you know what? I was in poll after poll. The American people are like, looking at these two options that I just laid out for you. And they're going, I really agree with the guy that can speak, can talk, makes sense, looks like he's in his right mind and isn't lost everywhere he goes. But I think the guy who's in clear cognitive decline is more electable. And you wonder why people are giving up going to the polls. They're like, forget it. Why am I going to vote? We got a bunch of morons in this country. I know we've gone on a tangent here. I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about. But I have long given up on the American people actually being even close to intelligent or informed. Certainly informed. When you got some 38% of people who say they will not drink Corona beer because they're afraid they might get the coronavirus. That's how you know we're in some deep doo-doo in this country. When I saw that, I was like, screw hope. Oh my gosh. So look, don't let them gaslight you. They know Joe Biden is in cognitive decline. So maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, maybe they know, but they're so incompetent, man. They'll probably botch it. And Bernie Sanders, may come back. And if he doesn't, they'll give, a vice president, a progressive vice president, a chance. The Democrats are not incompetent. They're not incompetent. We need to dispel this myth. I even say it sometimes. I fall for it. I think a lot of progressive commentators do. Why? Well, there's been a lot of things that they've done, especially when it's come to them versus the Republicans, that have made us believe these guys really don't know what they're doing. The failure to get anything more than a right-wing health care plan passed when we had a supermajority after Obama was elected in 2009. I mean, wow. That was ridiculous. The watered-down background check we received after Sandy Hook. A lot of people point to this moment and say, that was the moment that I knew we would never have real gun reform in the country. When we were okay with first graders being gunned down in their schools and going, we don't really need to do anything. That's when many people knew that this country wasn't going to ever do anything about guns. The increase in the defense budget, the military budget, or as I call it, the offense budget. The $21 billion increase, which, by the way, your progressive champion Elizabeth Warren voted for. I'm sorry. I progressives. I really do love y'all, but and I love us, right? But we really need to have some standards. It's like that woman who just keeps, dating the abusive men. Like you do feel bad for her, but then you also get to a point where you're just kind of like, you need to raise your standard for something other than just looks or money or whatever it is that your problem, because this is not working out for you clearly, and it's really pathetic to watch at this point. Get some standards. The botched impeachment. We saw that botched impeachment. That made people think, well, maybe they're incompetent. I mean, if Pelosi was going to hold on to those articles of impeachment, then she should have just daggone held on to them. I mean, what was she doing? What were any of the Democrats doing? Why would you send them to the Senate without any? She's, oh well, we want to hold on to it because we want to make sure that they promise us to do a fair trial. You think the Republicans are going to promise you a fair trial? We're talking about the same Republicans who not just wouldn't approve Barack Obama's Supreme Court choice, but said, no, we're not even going to hold a hearing on it for like what, over a year it was or something like that? And then when Mitch McConnell was in a press conference and the press was like, hey, bruh, what you going to do if a Supreme Court seat opens up in a presidential election year when you guys are in charge? Are you going to have the same principle? Are you going to be principled and say, we told the Democrats that we weren't going to approve their nominee because it was an election year and we need to hear from the people? So now that it's our turn to have a majority, we're going to do the same thing and be principled? Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to be principled when you have a majority in an election year and say, you know what? We're not going to hold it. What are you going to do, they asked him, if in an election year you guys have the opportunity to appoint someone to the Supreme Court? You know what he said? We're going to fill it. And he smirked, kind of like, oh, what is wrong with you? How stupid are you? You don't know how politics works? We get what we want. You don't get what you want. It's simple. There's no principle. That is the principle. The principle is I win and you lose. But that made the Democrats look incompetent. And so does this with Nancy Pelosi. Botching it, not sending, not holding on to them, and then just sending them. And then after you send them, going, Republicans, we want you to get the witnesses and documents that we didn't get in the House. In what universe did you think that was going to happen? That the Senate was going to do your work for you in convicting their president, Donald Trump, who has an 80% approval rating within the party? You thought they were going to put their behinds on the line to do your work for you. You could have at least finished it. Well, the Republicans won't let nothing because Donald Trump wasn't letting people testify. Well, that's why you let the courts handle it and say, Donald Trump, you're wrong. You're out of line. You're dead out of line. Now you send those people to the House to give that testimony. You send those documents as evidence. But is that what they did? No, they just went ahead and were like, well, we're going to send it to the Senate. And they went ahead and sent it anyway. Just stupid. Gosh, man. Or so it appears, right? That's what they want you to think. But these examples that I've given you are not evidence of incompetence on the part of the Democratic Party. No, not at all. In fact, the reality of it is the Democrats don't need to fight the Republicans as aggressively as they need to fight progressives. Why? I'll tell you. Because they are looking out for the same interests as the Republicans. They are basically looking out for the corporations, the wealthy elites. They are looking out for all of those same interests as the Republicans are. They are the other side of the same coin. If one side of that coin has been up a cow's butt and has cow maneuver all over it, guess what? The other side has too. And that's all they are. The other side of a dung-covered coin. And both sides stink. And I just don't know what we've got to do to get the American people to see that, to get all of us to see that. The Republicans are not a real threat to the current batch of Washington lobbyists, pundits, and consultants. But guess who is? Bernie Sanders. And us. Us. We are the real threat. Not just to their money, but to their power and their access to power. And that is what they will fight like heck to defend. When your life is on the line, you fight for real. You don't be playing no games. The Democrats playing us, man. They've been playing us for years, making us think that they don't know what they're doing when they know exactly what they're doing. Reminds me of that movie, Unusual Suspect. You're sitting there thinking, oh, well, if you haven't seen it, watch it. And at the end, you're like, that's the Democrats. Okay? That's the Democrats. They play dumb against Republicans, but they sure get it together when it's time to demolish the progressives. When it's time to destroy the left wing of the party, they sure find a way to get it together. I mean, we worked hard, texting, phone banking, canvassing, getting out there, spreading the word, and donating our hard-earned money, opening up our pocketbooks and our schedules in order to try to get this Bernie Sanders candidacy to happen. And as we're building this beautiful skyscraper, they just came along, the establishment came along and nuked that thing into oblivion in one foul swoop. Look at what they did in this election cycle. Look at Iowa. They wanted us to believe that was incompetence, but the only incompetence was them trying to make it appearing like incompetence. It was like very obvious to anybody that had half a functioning brain that there was some tomfoolery going on with that situation right there. Okay. Taking forever to release those results. I mean, the fact that they dropped that poll right before, conveniently dropped that poll right before, where Bernie Sanders was doing well and Buttigieg was getting that Buttigieg spanked real good. He was getting it spanked real good. Right. They went ahead and dropped that poll because, I mean, if you're going to rig the election, it doesn't really help to have a poll that comes out 2 days before that clearly shows that you should have lost. Of course, it also doesn't help to show exit polls coming out that shows you should have lost, but Americans don't seem to care about those either, so we're just in our own delusional wonderland. They sit there, start releasing the results, and go, oh, just kidding. I mean, this is amazing. Then what do you know? They come back later after trickling. Please, sir, can I have some more results, please, please? Sure, here's 10 more percent, sucker. 10 more quality controlled percent of the results. And then after they finish quality controlling, what do you know? Turns out Pete Buttigieg won the Iowa caucus, even though he technically lost because he had less votes than Bernie Sanders. You know what? Props. Props, Democrats. I got to give the Democratic establishment their props. It ain't easy rigging a caucus, but they did it. Congratulations. And then look at South Carolina. Look at how they secured a critical Clyburn endorsement. They got the one person that would make more difference than anybody else in swaying votes in South Carolina and got him to endorse Joe Biden on the eve of this South Carolina primary. Then they hyped it up, talked about it. And then Joe Biden slayed Bernie Sanders in South Carolina. And they didn't even have to cheat to do that. Then they managed to get two big named candidates, big time candidates, to drop out of the race right before Super Tuesday. Like that doesn't happen. That's not how this works. Nobody does that. Nobody drops out right before Super Tuesday. They drop out right after Super Tuesday. They might have dropped out right after South Carolina, but to wait until the day before, 2 days before, no, that's ridiculous. Nobody does that. But they did because Barack Obama and the Democrats lined that thing right on up. Does any of this sound like incompetence to you? Sounds like they know exactly what they're doing. And they're giving us a heaping helping of kick your behind. And that's what they did to our backsides. You can even look at 2016. In 2016, the DNC changed its name to the Democratic National Clinton. Yeah, that's it. That's what will be called, the Democratic National Clinton. Because all it was they were just like, you know what? I think we're just going to go ahead and be the Clinton campaign. All in favor? Yeah, sounds good. Sounds real good. And Tulsi Gabbard was there. They're like, what the heck? Okay, I'm dropping out of this. That's why she's still, no matter what, has more respect from me than Warren at this point. Even when she votes no on one of the counts of impeachment against Trump, or present on both of the impeachment accounts, she still has more of my respect than Elizabeth Warren. Because when push came to shove, she stepped up, put her neck on the line, dropped out from her position as the vice chair at the DNC and endorsed Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren continued playing her little player in the game politics, which she has now continued into 2020. They know what they're doing. And I'm pretty sure they got Elizabeth Warren in on it too. I just have a hunch. Something about it don't smell right. So if they know what they're doing, they're not incompetent. And they know about Biden. They're not ignorant. Then in order for you to believe that they will choose a progressive on this ticket, you would have to believe that they actually want a progressive to be one step away, one heartbeat away from the presidency. Again, do you understand why I asked you to scoop out your brains and use it as zombie meal? Okay, that's why. Because you'd have to be that dumb to actually believe that. Have you been paying any attention? Of course you have. Because I have smart subscribers. What's up, y'all? There's no way you can believe that. If you honestly believe that after all that we've seen from 2016 to now, that the Democrats actually want a progressive in office, then I'm sorry, but you're dumb. You're really dumb. You're like tiptoe past the cabinet so you don't wake up the sleeping pills dumb. Just dumb. They do not, let me help you, they do not want a progressive, even within a rocket launcher's throw, a rocket launcher stone's throw of a distance to the White House. Okay? Okay. They do not want a progressive one heartbeat away from the White House. They did not fight Bernie Sanders tooth and nail in order to put someone with his ideology a step behind someone who could, by the end of next year, need to be taken down from his duties as the president and have those duties transferred over to our vice president so that he can be hauled off to a nursing home. There's no way they're going to do that. They're not even going to take a 1% chance on that. And they know that that could happen. And I'm gonna help you with one other thing too. If Joe Biden selects a candidate that we're not sure about, we're on the fence about, that you think might be a progressive, but you're not sure, then they just answered that question for you. The person is not a progressive. You know, if it's someone like Stacey Abrams, Andrew Gillum, well, it won't be Andrew Gillum now. I did a video on him earlier, and that's gonna really ruin him politically, and the updates don't look good. But that's neither here nor there. Look, it ain't rocket science. And last thing I want to dispel is the idea that it's going to be that he's going to choose Elizabeth Warren. Woo! Sleepy Joe and Pocahontas. Like, is that what you want him saying all throughout the general election? Do you think we can actually win against that? Oh, I'm sorry. I promise it ain't the corona. What? Look, what does Elizabeth Warren actually bring to the table? Suburbia, those suburban white voters, they already seem to be the ones that really, really want to support the Democrats are already lining up behind Biden anyway. Bernie Sanders isn't winning them. Elizabeth Warren is gone. She's out of the race. She's a non-issue. She's a non-factor, and she's chosen to not even endorse to be a person. She's just sitting on her hands. She's nothing. She's worthless in the race with regard to um, any kind of power in this race. She has no worth. There's nothing that she can contribute in that way. Massachusetts is probably going to go for the Democrat anyway. And even if it don't, Elizabeth Warren ain't going to help. She couldn't even come in first in her own state or even second. She came in third in Massachusetts. The most pathetic display I've probably ever seen in a primary. And to keep going. And then afterwards to come out with that absolute insane messages. We're going all the way to the convention. Who's going to choose a vice president after they do something like that? That is embarrassing. That was just really, really embarrassing. Just a political disaster. You know, she may govern halfway decently, but her political instincts are crap, man. And who's she going to bring into the progressives? She's going to bring progressives? Progressives don't trust her anymore. I'm sorry. There's a select few that maybe do, that like being gaslit and abused, but the rest of us, we don't trust her anymore. She's proven herself over and over and over again to be a backstabbing sellout. So that's it. And then centrists. Oh, centrists? You think centrists love Elizabeth Warren? You think centrists prefer her right now over someone like Amy Klobuchar or Pete Buttigieg or even one of these other, Stacey Abrams or something? I mean, what does she bring? Nothing. It's not going to be Elizabeth Warren. It's not going to be Elizabeth Warren. So anyway, I hope that this video has helped to dispel you of any crazy notions that you may have that the Joe Biden will choose a vice presidential candidate that is a younger or maybe more female ethnic version of Bernie Sanders. You need to stop dreaming. Don't hold your breath because we don't feel like reviving you and bringing you back. Just let that go. Okay? He's going to choose whoever he's going to end up choosing. The only hope that we have of having a progressive anywhere near the White House anytime soon is to defeat Joe Biden in this primary. So hopefully the American people will wake up and see the choices that are before them. Deuces.